The laughter started before she even touched the rifle. Clara Jensen stood at the edge of the gravel lot, squinting under her sunhat at the row of high-powered rifles lined up like soldiers on parade. Around her, the Saturday morning crowd at Birchwood shooting range buzzed with smug chuckles and sideways glances. Men in tactical vests swapped war stories they'd probably never lived. Teenagers posed with rented gear for Instagram. And there she stood, a retired elementary school librarian in a floral blouse, clutching a tattered leather bag and wearing sneakers that had definitely seen more gardens than gun ranges. "Lost, Mom?" one of them joked. "No," Clara said softly. "Just here to shoot." Nobody recognized her, not even Greg, the silver-bearded range manager who'd seen every kind of shooter over the years. Clara had been coming once a month for a decade, always on Thursdays, always when the range was quiet. She never competed, never bragged, just showed up with a calm smile, borrowed the same old .22 rifle, and fired carefully measured rounds into paper targets that she folded neatly into her bag afterward. But today was different. Today was Open Challenge Day, and her granddaughter had dared her, half-jokingly, to join. "Gran, you're always telling me to try things that scare me," Katie had grinned. "Well, I dare you to shoot in public." Clara smiled at the memory, even as another burst of laughter echoed when she reached for the .22. "That's a pellet gun, right?" A tall man in camo smirked. "Looks like someone brought a knitting needle to a rifle fight," someone else added. Greg frowned, but didn't interfere. He knew better. Still, Clara could feel the heat of a dozen eyes on her as she stepped to lane 7, 10 shots. That's all she had. Clara exhaled, lined up her shot, and squeezed the trigger. The crack was quiet compared to the others, but the effect was immediate. One clean hole, exactly center. She adjusted another, then another. By the 4th shot, the laughter had faded. By the 6th, people were nudging each other. By the 10th, even the cocky camo guy was staring. Then Greg called out, "Targets down!" The assistant rolled out the paper targets from each lane. Big holes, scattered shots, a few bullseyes. Then came Clara's. Gasps. Her target looked like it had a single hole, dead center, but on closer inspection, it wasn't just one shot. All 10 bullets had passed through the same exact hole. Camo guy whistled low. "Is that even possible?" Greg just smiled. With Clara, yeah. Clara didn't gloat. She didn't smile smugly or bow dramatically. She just stepped back from the lane, removed her hat, and looked at the crowd. "I'm not here to impress anyone," she said quietly. "I came today because my granddaughter dared me, and because I want her to see that quiet people can be strong, too." She reached into her bag and pulled out a worn scrapbook. Inside were dozens of newspaper clippings about kids she'd taught, kids she'd defended, kids who went on to do great things. "One of those kids once brought a knife to school," she continued. "He was angry, hurt. Everyone was scared of him. But I saw the fear in his eyes. I sat down, talked to him, took the knife away without a fight. He's a teacher now, a good one." The crowd was silent. "I learned to shoot a long time ago. After that, not to hurt people, just to understand fear, to be ready, but not to brag." She paused. "Kindness takes a different kind of aim." After a moment, the clapping began. Not thunderous, but sincere. Greg stepped forward, eyes misty, and handed her a small hand-carved plaque. "You've earned this," he said. Clara glanced at the inscription, "Precision with Purpose." Later, as she packed up, a young girl approached her, no older than 10, in jeans and a hoodie. "Miss Clara, can you teach me to shoot like that?" Clara knelt down and smiled. "I can teach you something better, how to aim your heart first." And from that day forward, the range wall bore a new framed target, not for the tightest grouping or most firepower, but for the quietest woman who'd hit home without ever raising her voice. In a world that often praises noise, it's easy to overlook the power of grace, focus, and compassion. But sometimes the people we laugh at, those who walk softly, are the ones who leave the deepest mark. And all it takes is one kind, steady aim to change everything.